So I have an example here. I found some organisms that we can use to make this tree. Do you know what the picture shows you? I can give you a hint. It shows one of the organisms on this list. Do you know which one? Anything?
A mushroom? Bluegill?
Bluegill? That's a fish. Charlotte, you were so close. And Ryan, that's a good guess too. Bluegill. It's kind of blue, purplish. It's this type of a bacteria. This is a bacteria.
Oh.
A bacterium is singular. So it's a type of bacterium. So it's called a Staphylococcus aureus. So this is a type of bacteria that you can find on our skin. It's a very common type of bacteria living on our skin. And you may also have this in your upper respiratory tract. So normally it lives in our body or in our body, and it's in peace with us. But if you have compromised immune system, like your immune system is not very strong, maybe you're going through, let's say, chemotherapy or something like that, that can compromise your immune functions, then they may, invade your body and make you sick. But normally, if you're a strong person, you're healthy, they shouldn't make you sick. All right. Okay. All right, now let's make our tree. So what you can do is start with the root, right? Now you are going to make 3 branches because we have 3 domains, right? Right. So do we have any organisms from the first domain, which is a bacteria domain?
Yep.
Yep. Which one? This one, right?
I don't know how to say it.
It's all right. You can just say, you can use S, Staphylococcus aureus. Yes. So you can put that in there. Okay. And you can put some kind of characteristics here if you want. So you can say, prokaryotic. I don't have room. Prokaryotic. No nucleus, right? So you can put it some characteristics for this domain here. And this is kind of how you separate them. Do we have anything from our archaea, the second domain?
No, but I'm not sure.
You're not sure, but you're correct. Yeah, there's nothing from archaea. So you can leave it blank, or you can just, not include a branch for it. That's totally okay because you have no organisms from that domain, right? So you can just have 2 main branches, 2 main domains. A tip for making the tree is before you draw the tree, you have to be familiar with each organism. Right? You have to know, which group they're from and what kind of major characteristics they have, because you're going to use those characteristics to classify them. All right, now everything else goes to the third domain, right? Everything is eukaryotic. All right. Now, remember in eukaryotic, we have 4 main groups, right? We have protists. I'm just gonna put the letter here to help you remember. Protists. What's the other one? Plants. Okay, plants. I'm gonna put it here. Animals. What's the last one?
Animals, right? No.
No, animals here. Mushroom. Fungus. Yes. All right. Now, do we have anything that are protists?
Plant?
What about the last one? Here. The brain-eating amoeba?
Brain-eating, yes.
Right. So we can put amoeba here.
Yep.
You can put some characteristic here, right? Unicellular. What else? Unicellular animal unicellular is probably a pretty important characteristic to differentiate this group to other groups. All right, so that's 2 organisms. What about fungi? Do we have anything that might be fungus? Mushroom, right? Mushroom. And you can add some characteristics there. All right, now plants. Do we have any plants? No? Do we have any oak trees here in Charlotte?
Yes, this one.
Yeah, oak, right? So that's a plant. That's a plant. All right. Now the rest of them are animals.
Yep.
Okay. The rest of them are animals, but you can actually classify them a little bit more, right? All right. Now for animals, a very useful characteristic is the presence or absence of a backbone or spine.
Mm,
So we have invertebrates. Those are animals that do not have a backbone, right? They do not have an invertebral column, but we do, right? If you can touch the back, touch your back, you can feel the vertebral column, right? All the vertebrate bones. And
mm-hmm.
in the vertebral column, you have your spinal cord. Right? So invertebrates do not have any of those. So do we have anything that do not have a backbone, do not have
The
a
earthworm, probably.
earthworm? Very good. No backbone, spinal cord.
What about frog? No.
Frog, they do. They actually do.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Snake, yes, they do have backbone, spinal cord. Frog, yeah. Fish. What about fish?
They do.
They do. That's
Mm.
because you eat fish a lot, right?
Yeah.
You can see their backbone. But panda, definitely, right? Okay. Now, what about cricket?
They do. No, I don't know. They're insects, though.
Yeah, you're right. It is insect, and insects do not have a backbone. They
Okay.
are invertebrates. So we have to change this to two branches. So you have earthworm and you have a cricket.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think that's it. Gecko, do yeah. Mushroom we already crossed out. Some crossed out the ones we already used. Earthworm, cricket. All right. Now everything else are gonna be in this group. Right. So they do have a backbone. They have a spinal cord. So you can put all the organisms here. We have a snake, right?
Mm.
Frog, bluegill fish, panda, and gecko. Now you can leave it like this if you want. I totally understand, but it would be better if you can further classify them, further, just group them a little bit further.
Mm.
So, what other characteristics can you kind of group them?
Um, I was thinking, like, how the way I did it. I think, like, I separated them like as a insects. Who is there?
Okay, yeah, that works. Or how about this? Let me draw it different.
Mammals, like that. That's the way how I was thinking, but I think I gotta change that way.
Mm,
Yeah, I just put like every animals like together. The one that can produce egg, the one do not produce
ooh,
egg. I don't know what this is called.
yes,
Like I
yes,
think,
you can definitely do that. That's actually a very good one. Yeah, so you guys can approach this in two ways. So first, you can do what Bayan did. You can use some characteristics to differentiate them. So for example, you can say lay eggs or does not lay eggs, and then separate them to two groups.
yeah,
Or you
like
can say we're living in water or living on
uh-huh.
land,
Yes, or
right?
both live
So
in the water or live in the land. But like,
yeah, so yeah. And then what else you can say fur or no fur,
yeah, that's right.
or you can do with scales or no scales, right? So snakes and geckos, they're reptiles. They have scales.
Mhm.
That's why they can live on land, right? Because it's thick skin with the scales. It prevents water. It prevents water loss, so that they can live on land. And giant panda has fur, right? Panda doesn't lay eggs. Right? Reptiles lay eggs. Reptiles, amphibians lay eggs. So snake, frog, bluegill, gecko, they all lay eggs.
It's yes.
But giant panda doesn't lay eggs and also it has furs.
Mhm.
Yeah. So you can use those characteristics to group them, or you can, the second way is to just put them in their taxonomic groups. So you can do fish, reptiles, mammals. So you can do it that way too. Either way is fine.
Okay. That's-
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's pretty much it. And
Yep.
the the tree I drew here, that's a vertical tree, right, from the bottom up. You can do it not vertically, horizontally too. So this is a common ancestor, and then you can do, the bacteria, and you can draw it this way too. So this is like a horizontal tree. All right.
Yeah.
So
Questions is like, can we make trees that like can we make different looking trees? I guess it's also just kind of based on like what group you're given. I didn't know if that'd be like a specific format of what the tree had to look like. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, you you can do it, based on your preference. So what do you mean by format? Do you mean like horizontal or vertical or some other aspects?
Yeah, I guess if it's like if it's like you have to put your line like your lines have to look like this,
Oh, the
or
lines?
like your overall format has to all look identical when making the tree, or is it kind of like it's all just going to be a little bit different?
It can be a little bit different.
Okay.
Yeah. I've seen trees like they do something like this, and the groups, the branches come off here.
Okay.
So yeah, either way is fine. As long as I can see that you group those organisms in different categories and the categories are correct, then you're fine.
I have a
Yeah.
question. Do you have a website to make a tree?
No. Um, that's a good question, actually. I'm not aware of any website where you can just, enter the information and it will generate a tree. No, not usually. There are, I believe, molecular tools where you put in the genetic information and it can make a tree for you. But that's very, very advanced. You have to put in genetic information.
So cannot
Yeah.
do it because in the world it's very hard to do it that way.
Oh, yeah, so that's why I put in the instruction that you can hand draw, get a piece of paper and then get a pencil and you can draw the tree and then use your phone or computer to take a screenshot. Just upload that screenshot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's very hard to do it with a computer. If you don't have a pen that I have, you will have to use probably something like a PowerPoint slide to make the tree. So that can be very time consuming. So don't worry about that. You can just hand draw on a piece of paper and then just take a picture of that and upload the picture.
Okay. Thank you.
Cool. All right. Are you guys all good on how to make the tree?
Yeah.
All right. Charlotte, you're good too? Any more questions?
Yeah, I think so. I started getting somewhat of like an idea from some of the research and like here from today. So I think if I just keep building and like keep looking, I can ultimately like understand it a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you guys don't want to, go in too deep on the taxonomy part, like different, groups, you can just use, like what Bain did earlier. You can just use some characteristics that you are familiar with to separate them.
Okay.
Like
Mhm.
unicellular, multicellular, um, lay eggs, no eggs, live in water, live on land, have, the mammalian have the male have babies, right? Have fur. So yeah, I'm pretty flexible
Okay,
as long
because
as you're.
the a lot of the examples I saw that they're laying out kind of exterior differences, or not exterior,
Mhm,
but kind of like this like which animals have fur, which animals have a vertebrae. So I think
mhm.
that's what I was going to try to base it on.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah. That's totally fine. Since we don't have the lab, and it's very hard to kind of get you to know the different groups, key groups, different kingdoms, different classes, things like that. So you can definitely just use the common characteristics to classify them.
Okay.
Yeah. Good questions, guys.